Everyone tells you the same thing about belly fat. Just eat less, they say, and the fat disappears. But new data completely flips that old assumption apart. Caloric restriction alone has a hidden, frustrating ceiling built in. Past a certain point, your body fights back hard. It senses fat loss as a genuine survival threat, so it slows everything down to protect its reserves. Your metabolism drops, and you burn fewer calories resting. You move less without even noticing the difference happening. Your body temperature dips, and hunger gets louder daily. Starving yourself is not the answer you actually need. Adding the right foods matters just as much here, because visceral fat responds to very specific biological signals. Send the right signals, and the fat starts disappearing. Combine smart food choices with the right movement pattern. The results become dose-dependent, meaning more effort compounds. The more correct signals you send, the faster results appear. And this changes everything about how you should approach it. Visceral fat is not simple, ordinary belly fat sitting there. It wraps around your liver, stomach, pancreas, and organs. This fat is metabolically active, constantly pumping out signals. Those signals disrupt hormones and create a dangerous feedback loop over time. Fat drives inflammation, and inflammation protects the fat from breakdown. Lower that inflammation, and the entire cycle finally breaks apart. Once broken, your body can finally mobilize and burn that fat. Two levers matter most for breaking this stubborn cycle. The first lever is simple, everyday omega-3 fatty acids. Walnuts are loaded with alpha-linolenic acid, a plant omega-3. Omega-3s directly calm the inflammatory signals coming from visceral fat. Fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel work similarly here. They're rich in EPA and DHA, powerful anti-inflammatory compounds. These also improve insulin sensitivity and support a healthier liver. The second lever is polyphenols, and walnuts deliver these too. Polyphenols change how your body handles and burns stored fat. Your body shifts from storing energy toward actively burning it. One study changed how researchers think about calorie counting entirely. Researchers compared 3 separate diet groups over several months: a standard healthy diet, a Mediterranean diet, and a greener version. Both Mediterranean groups ate a small daily handful of walnuts. The greener group also added green tea and a special algae shake. They avoided processed foods and cut back on red meat. When researchers measured visceral fat using MRI scans, results shocked everyone. The greener, polyphenol-rich group lost nearly double the visceral fat. Both groups ate identical calories, yet outcomes were wildly different. The type of food changed how the body processed energy. Most people can't easily access that specific algae ingredient, so focus instead on leafy greens, berries, and colorful produce. These push your diet in a similarly polyphenol-rich direction. Remember, that algae wasn't just polyphenols, it was complete protein. Make sure you're still getting adequate protein from other sources. The second mechanism locking fat in place is insulin resistance. When cells resist insulin, your pancreas overproduces it constantly. Chronically elevated insulin directly promotes fat storage around organs. This explains why insulin-resistant people accumulate abdominal fat easily, even when their total calorie intake hasn't changed at all. Anything that improves insulin sensitivity helps clear visceral fat faster. Two foods work here through completely different biological pathways. The first is broccoli sprouts, arguably the most underrated food available. They're packed with sulforaphane, a compound that activates NRF2. NRF2 acts like an internal control center for inflammation. It activates genes that protect mitochondria and reduce cellular stress. Sulforaphane also tells your liver to slow glucose production. That means better blood sugar control from 2 directions simultaneously. Broccoli sprouts contain 20 to 100 times more sulforaphane. Compared to mature broccoli, sprouts deliver far greater concentrated benefit.
A small handful daily delivers more than a whole broccoli head. About half a cup raw, tossed in a salad, works perfectly. Sulforaphane clears your system quickly, so eat small amounts daily. Consistency beats loading up once a week for better results. Some grocery stores carry sprouts near herbs and microgreens sections. If unavailable locally, they're incredibly easy to grow at home. Just a mason jar and sprouting seeds, ready in 5 days. Broccoli sprouts aren't the only food improving insulin signaling naturally. Dark chocolate helps too, but only above 85% cacao. Berries consistently show strong evidence for improving insulin sensitivity. Fermented foods like kimchi and sauerkraut support this pathway too. Each works through a slightly different biological route toward improvement. Now let's discuss the third mechanism locking visceral fat away. Your body also needs a direct signal to start burning fat. This is where extra virgin olive oil enters the picture. Olive oil polyphenols activate two very specific metabolic pathways. The first is AMPK, your body's internal energy sensor. When AMPK activates, cells start pulling fuel from fat stores. The second pathway is called sirtuin-1, or SIRT1. This pathway improves how efficiently your mitochondria operate overall, especially inside your muscles, where fat burning actually happens. Your body doesn't just get the signal, it gets better at burning. A study in the European Journal of Nutrition proved this exact pattern. Researchers compared extra virgin olive oil against ordinary soybean oil. Both groups ate identical calories under an identical calorie deficit. The olive oil group lost 80% more body fat, all from just 25 milliliters daily, about 1.5 teaspoons. Same calories, same deficit, completely different physiological outcomes achieved. Olive oil literally told the body to burn more fat. Quality of calories matters, even when calorie math looks identical. That covers the nutrition side of this complete protocol. Now let's talk about exercise, the true results multiplier. Adding movement is how results start compounding rapidly within weeks. A massive analysis of 84 studies revealed something important here. Higher intensity exercise consistently outperformed lower intensity alternatives significantly. Vigorous aerobic exercise and high-intensity interval training led every category. A study published in Diabetes Care showed just how powerful this is. 2 45-minute cycling sessions weekly at moderate to vigorous intensity, plus 1 additional interval training session, 3 total weekly sessions. This reduced visceral fat by 48% in just 8 weeks. Participants also lost 18% of their subcutaneous fat too. It was a small study, but findings matched larger analyses consistently. Here's the fascinating part. The scale barely moved during the study. Visceral fat dropped nearly in half, yet weight stayed similar.
The scale is a poor metric for tracking real progress. If you're doing everything right, don't panic when weight stalls. Most studies focus on moderate to vigorous intensity training specifically. That means 40 to 60% of your maximum heart rate reserve. Fitness trackers and smartwatches can calculate this range automatically today. But heart rate isn't always reliable for everyone using trackers. Medications like beta blockers can lower your resting heart rate. Heart rate zones also aren't standardized across different device manufacturers. The simplest method is something called the talk test instead. You're in moderate intensity if you can speak in short sentences. You're winded slightly, but conversation still flows fairly comfortably then. Another way to think about it, you can talk but not sing. Moderate intensity doesn't mean sprinting or exhausting yourself completely daily. For beginners, this could simply mean a brisk walk outside. Walking uphill or cycling steadily also counts toward this goal. In the best studies, participants ramped up intensity gradually over time. They didn't start at maximum effort on their very first day.
Jumping straight to peak intensity is how people injure themselves quickly. If you have any heart condition, always consult your doctor first. Everyone's baseline and tolerance for intensity is genuinely different. All you really need is 2 or 3 sessions weekly, 45 minutes per session, regardless of which exercise type you choose. The specific exercise matters less than including real intensity somewhere. Consistency matters even more than any single intense workout session. A slow 20-minute walk daily beats one brutal hour weekly. A study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine confirmed something crucial. With exercise, more effort consistently produced more visceral fat loss. This is a true dose-dependent relationship between effort and results. Caloric restriction never showed that same dose-dependent relationship in studies. There's a ceiling to how much restriction alone can help you, but there is no ceiling to how much movement can help. You do not need to starve yourself to lose visceral fat. Target the right foods we covered throughout this entire protocol. Aim for a small, sustainable calorie deficit alongside those foods. If you want faster results, pull the exercise and intensity lever. Walnuts, fatty fish, broccoli sprouts, dark chocolate, berries, fermented foods, olive oil. 3 biological mechanisms, 1 consistent movement habit, real, measurable results. This is how you finally outsmart the fat that protects itself. Stay consistent, stay patient, and trust the process you're building.